Some of the things that are going on right now is, as you're aware, the solar that was brought up early on in the discussion of the lights was partly mentioned that we ought to start looking at solar not just for the lights locally, but for mitigation of power. That process has been taking, as you're aware, up to about 2 years now to get something done. One of the things with solar you don't want to do is you don't want to jump into solar without having enough information from Edison to determine whether or not it's actually going to be a savings and not an albatross and a bigger cost. So having gone through that process and eventually finding out that Edison could not do the project that we wanted to do, the RES-BCT program that would have produced a significant savings, we opted to step out and do what we could for net metering, which took in this office complex in the shop, the wastewater plant, ponds, the aerators, etc., and well 9, which is one of our bigger electrical users. We've gone through the power purchase agreements. This board, I recall, had authorized me to move forward with those agreements and negotiate those successfully and move forward. I'm here to just announce that the PPAs are done. They've gone through our legal, their legal, back and forth exchanges with minor changes, and I will sign those and send them out this evening. And they'll begin after July 1 installing our solar for the district. So we're moving forward with that. The solar lights that John Street mentioned, one of the things, the hard things is, even with solar lights, the LEDs, which is a 60 to 70% power saver, costs more on the tariff than an incandescent light. And so Edison governs that side, and it's going to would cost us more. The solar lights, I believe, are going to be on the same line, but we don't dictate, the district doesn't, what type of lights that can be put up, because they're not ours. And it has to be Edison that takes that step to do that. The only way that the CSD could do that is we would have to become a utility, install a whole new infrastructure to handle those types of lights. And they would take their poles, I'm sure, eventually, and their lights and leave if that happened. And we'd be left with having to maintain those and a crew that was experienced in such. But I will look into those for the cost and everything else and try to get a report back to you on that. United Street Park and Tom Segali. Many apologies not getting back to you, but yes, you still have a contract. It will be honored until such time that we say, okay, we're invoking the 30-day notice to move forward in another manner. The reason for all the, not the secrecy, but I couldn't say anything, was that we were negotiating with the school district and they had not yet taken a stand. They preliminarily had told me they were going to take United Street back, and naturally that affects your contract, and I didn't want to get out and put out information and let it get into the community before the school district finalized their decision. That apparently was verbalized at the meeting at the RMAC the other night, so I kind of feel free now to at least say something. And I'll report on the savings to the district that United Street Park will present to the district. But because there's going to be a change in the amount of work being done, your contract will change accordingly. The board has decided to go to a RFP process to get bids on the remainder. And what we're going to do is increase the requirements in the parkway areas, so we can get that as part of the contract. As soon as that RFP comes out, I will notify you of your 30-day notice. And hopefully I can have that out in the next 2 weeks. But I will notify you when your 30 days comes about. And actually, we've got to go through sending the RFP out, giving people enough notice to respond, bring it back, analyze those responses, and then at that time, when we decide, is when I'll notify you your 30 days. And we may be notifying you could be notifying you of your amended contract too, because I'm sure you would probably answer that RFP, because we certainly want you and encourage you to do so.
All right.
So that's why the secrecy, I couldn't let the information out. And the explanation was not going to be good enough for you.
I thought it was Homeland Security or something, you know, something like that.
You know, one of the things you got to remember is when you have a contract and you're supposed to be given 30 days notice, you'll get your 30 days notice. And I always intended to make sure that you had that prior to any change in your contract, but certainly give you enough time to answer the RFP and everything. So that's why.
All right, thank you.
I believe that's all I have for this evening.
Hey, Steve, real quick, do you know how the park's going, or is that, do you know the park's going so far?
Revenue-wise?
Yeah, I mean,
We don't know, but we do know that the first couple of weeks it was doing extremely well. Extremely.
thanks, sir. And Steve, could you also reiterate for the record that United Street Park, that land has always belonged to the school district?
Yes. The school district has always owned the property that the park site at United Street sits on. The RCSD planted the grass, put in the infrastructure, and was responsible for maintaining it so we could use it for community use. It has gotten to the point now, and the budget will reflect, that some of the challenges presented to the district, and one of the most important things is not to incur cost where there is no revenue coming in to pay for it. So one of the things that we could do, and in speaking with the school district, number one, we had to make a transition on that because it was theirs. We were paying a lot of money for it, and they had mentioned that possibly in a couple of years they're going to build a school on it anyway. So in that discussion, the superintendent had to go back to his board and discuss it with his board, and they were obliging to take on the cost and take that back, because they may be using it for a school site shortly anyway. So the only park that the RCSD will have responsibility for in the community is West Park and the pool. That's the only ones that we have to date that we maintain. And then we have all the parkways around the developments. Pardon? Russell, what did I say?
West Park.
I'm sorry, Williford Park.
And, I just want to make it, understood that United Street Park is going to stay United Street Park. The only thing that's changing is who is to me, that's where we're at on that.
So do you guys do the landscaping on the sides of the street?
Yes.
Okay, so you have responsibility for that, just not the park.
Right.
And there's,
Those are the parkways.
those are the
Yeah.
park, and there is revenue for the parkways.
Yeah.
Through
but-
the property tax, but you get like 0.001% and they keep the rest up north.
Actually, it's in the CSA, a county
Okay.
service area, that pays for those.
Good evening. I just have a few updates on what we've been doing the last couple of weeks since our last meeting. As you know, we got the pool lift from the Sun Tower folks over there. We got the cement pad put in, all the infrastructure in to hold that lift, and we will actually set the lift tomorrow morning. Public Works crews have been out blowing off all the dead ends in the cul-de-sacs, and they just completed all the meter reading. Since last meeting, we've had 7 leaks in the street, service line leaks, 3 which we actually replaced the whole service line. The other 4 were just repairs. We'll continue to meter read and operate the wells for solar projects on the water bank. We currently operate 4 wells out there. 1% power, 1 for solar, and then 3% power. And that's about all I have.
Any questions of our public works superintendent? Thank you, John.